following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you can just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, let's
No,
have it.
please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
So Oz, we got another edition of Open Mic Night, and we talked about this I think a couple weeks ago, but I think enough time has passed since the last time we had this guest on. I think I've gotten over it. I've gone to anger management classes about it, and I think I'm finally ready to move on. So Oz, with that being said, we do have a guest on for Open Mic, and do you have any words before I introduce the guest?
I do, man. I hope everybody can hear me, and good day to you people. I wanted to say this, and I'm not trying to start the show off on a bad mood or anything.
Yeah, you are.
Hey, Regular Scott, I've been following you, dude. You have not been going to your anger management classes. I've been keeping up. The counselor said you have not attended in the last 6 weeks. So I don't know what you've been doing. So hopefully this will be another intervention with Jay. So I'm just looking forward to it. Maybe this time you will actually attend those classes. Because I'm paying for them, so where's my money going? But anyway, let's try and have a good show.
With that being said, Open Mic Night, we have Defy Life. I mean, just the Defy Life Network's own. Let's just call it that. West Coast Jay. West Coast Jay, welcome back.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be back. Again, we'll go ahead and stick with the Macho Man Vandal Savage because I really just actually like that.
That was so good.
I'm with that. Awesome. Now, listen, I need to ask you, do I need to be prepared for anything?
For an overall intervention? I mean, other than the fact that you're not going to your anger management classes, which we talked about. But other than that, no, I think you might be okay. I think we should probably at some point discuss the randomly starting beef situation. And then, other than that, it should be all comics all day.
and as you can hear, Part-Time V's is living up to his name.
Hey man, V's is busy doing stuff, dude. Y'all leave that man alone.
He is at a golf tournament right now, even though it's 9:43 p.m.
It's all right, man. We had an interesting discussion last week, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Golf tournament. That's awesome.
Hey, look, he can play some golf now. Look, I'll give him that. V's can play some golf.
Well, apparently this dude works out too, man.
Oh, yeah.
And eats ice cream and Oreos. You already know what it is.
And takes showers.
It takes showers during the show, so.
Mainly during my monologues. So I've been keeping track of my monologues too.
Yeah, it's okay. You do get a little bit verbose from time to time, but 9 times out of 10, it is informative monologue.
That's true.
West Coast
I'm
Jay.
good with it.
Some people say I might get a little wordy. It's fine.
Yeah, a little verbose, a little bit.
You know, so it's okay.
So
I'm
West
fine
Coast,
with it personally because I always learn something from it.
so West Coast Jay, I mean, you've been all over the network lately. You were just on the Five Life show about 2-3 weeks ago. You about to be on this show. Like, I mean, you about to just be the Five Life here soon, huh?
I mean, that's the joy of being the trivia champ. Is I feel like a bad Sports Center commercial where I'm just sort of walking through the office any kind of way, all willy-nilly, talking to people and sending interns to go get me breast milk from Cambodian immigrants.
You know what? That is true breast milk from Cambodia.
Hey,
Right.
that's what happens when
You
you
know what I'm
win,
saying?
though. When you win, that's what happens.
That's what happens when you win. I just get to walk around talking any kind of way to people. It's awesome.
Hey man, heavy is the crown. Heavy is the
Right.
crown. Okay.
But you know that means you're going to be a target the next battleground.
I'm fully prepared for all things Target. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody should be coming for the belt because, I mean, why would you not want it? Network is running around doing big things. Y'all are having random intermittent beef. You know, everybody, y'all are sponsoring all-star games, all the et ceteras. Like, it's been, y'all doing big things. I don't mind walking around sending interns to do dumb things.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Yosh for that basketball tournament too, man. That turned out really well. I saw some of the pictures from it, and I listened to the Five Live podcast. They talked about it, and everything turned out real well. So, the network's making real big moves.
That is awesome.
Y'all
That is
doing
very
big
cool.
Big things.
So,
like
but
even the Far Life gear.
I know you wanted to talk about it, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about the beef. You said you had some thoughts on the
man.
beef.
Oh, y'all crack me up.
I'm just saying,
You
dude.
had my favorite overall stance on the beef. It was the best part. It was like, wait, we're doing this right now?
Yeah.
Right now? Like, why is this happening right now? Well, I guess I gotta go start the car.
Yeah. Leave me with the show. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah,
You know.
that was pretty much it.
You can't rob a bank with Oz.
Oh, you can. Oh,
you
you can rob a
if he's
bank,
the
dude.
getaway driver. It's cool.
Hey, but let me explain myself just to be perfectly clear. You can rob a bank with me. I'm a steady hand. I'm a good getaway driver, but you ain't gonna rob our bank. You know, you ain't gonna help me. Like, why hurt yourself? Why are you gonna rob from yourself? You know, Robin Hood never robbed from the Merrymen. He took the Merrymen and did it to the sheriff, dude. You know, I'm just
Brings
saying,
up key
man.
points.
You know,
He brings up key points.
But we got through it, and now we're stronger, and we're more together than we were before.
I agree with that as well.
Except for V's. He's not
I
here
was-
this
I was
week,
left.
but hopefully he'll be back. And we'll be just as strong and together as we were before.
It's all right.
well
One of
showered,
these days.
ice cream.
He'll be right. He is
eaten.
going to be perfectly cleaned every single time.
Every time. So,
What a pine
Irish
fresh
spring
smell.
fresh.
but
What a pine fresh smell.
let's do a little let's have a little nerd talk. The In-Game, the latest trailer just released. Have you both seen it?
Oh, son. And then I'm going to let West Coast Jay, all I got to tell you is me and the kiddo saw Shazam today, and we saw the trailer.
Nice.
West Coast Jay.
How was Shazam? Let me before we even get to me.
Dude, hey, Jay. So regular Scott saw it, and he like, you know, he can tell me this kind of stuff, and it doesn't really like mess up the movie experience for me. He didn't tell me everything, and it was still, it was cool. He brought up some key points, which I totally agree with regular Scott. It was definitely about family, dude.
Yeah, it's one of the best family superhero movies. And you know what? I said that on Twitter, and someone brought up a good point. It's not quite as good as The Incredibles.
Right.
That's probably the pinnacle of a family superhero movie, but I would say it's probably number 2.
Hey, but hey, can I throw something out there? How about this? That is the best family is what you make it comic book movie that's ever been made.
That's a strong stance, and I might agree with you.
Hey, you can even take the Runaways from Hulu with that too. I'm just saying, it was a cool perspective on stuff, dude.
It was good. It was unexpectedly good. Like I didn't expect it to be that good.
And I have my critiques and issues. West Coast Jay, please, you need to go see it, dude. I love to hear what your thoughts are on it too.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I've been looking forward to Shazam all year, to be quite honest. It's about the only DC movie in a while that I've been looking forward to.
Exactly.
Just because I don't think you can. It's real difficult to mess up his story. Like, it's difficult to make him not likable, which is what they've kind of tried to do with all the other people in the world, save for Harley Quinn, who is my personal favorite. I know how you feel about her, Uncle Oz. I know how that goes down. You know, she's a made-up character. She wasn't even around at the beginning. Why do we know this? I'm like, why are you so angry?
Sounds just like him.
Back my Harley Quinn chucks? I should take them back.
West Coast Jay, I ain't gonna hate on it. Love is love, dude. Go for it. Go.
Hey, so West Coast Jay, let me ask you, what did you think about Aquaman?
All right. So, mirrors hair aside.
Look, always.
Yeah, how can you put it aside anyway?
Because you just sort of, it's one of those things that's so burned into memory that it's just not.
That's on you, Oz.
I can't.
That's on you.
I think somebody said to me at one point, "Oh wow, Ariel's in a movie," and I couldn't even argue with them.
That's on you, Oz.
No, dude. I state the facts, and that's all I gotta do. Hey, but Jay.
Itself,
sorry, man. Overall,
Oz, why you cut that man off when he about to tell you what he thought about the movie? What are you doing, man? Why are you being rude to the guest?
I nerd out too much. Go West Coast.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But the movie itself was mediocre at best.
So, hey, what are you ranking it? You giving it an Iris West, an MGK?
Oh no, it's a solid 6. That's an MGK all day.
All right. So West Coast Jay,
day, a solid 6. Like it was because Khal Drogo is amazing.
He is good.
That's what I was going to ask you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Khal Drogo's amazing. He just sort of walks around looking like I can't even call him anything that he's ever been. Like, I refuse to call him anything but Khal Drogo at this point.
Right.
Like, he can't be Conan, even though he was the best sized Conan.
Exactly.
Like, he was actually the Conan designed to be Conan.
The Rock was a pretty big Conan.
The Rock was huge, and Arnold was huge. But if you actually look at those comic books, they were built like Jason Momoa.
That's a good point.
Conan from the comic books was built like Jason because he was a dude who like not steroid. And I'm not saying they did it, but just like he was just like he worked by being a barbarian and a warrior.
That was his job.
That's how he got his muscles. Yep. That's how he got his muscles.
That was his actual job.
Right.
Like that's what he did with his time. What do? I swing axes and maces and shit. Like I swing those.
Yeah.
That's how I got these muscles right here. I think you call them the lats. That's how I got these. I was swinging maces, you know.
I slay men and I slay women. That's all he did as a barbarian.
Pretty consistently. That was his legitimate job. But other than that, the movie itself was, when I say mediocre at best, I mean it is difficult for me to stay awake.
It's a little bit long.
That's the same issue I had too, man. Because there's some great action scenes, and then there's just a lull.
Hey, so go ahead.
Long drawn out lulls.
Yeah, like a lull,
not
right?
All lull, like long drawn out ones.
Right, so you're just
Oz,
keep it going. Yeah.
So,
Oz, let me ask you. About the Endgame trailer. Do you have any thoughts about that though?
Yeah,
but look. Before we get too deep into that, allow me to set the table though.
Yes.
This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. As you've already heard, I am not here at full strength. I'm at half strength. We got the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Ozzy, what's going on?
What's up, good people?
And we got my main man, West Coast Jay, joining us again for Open Mic Night. West Coast Jay, what's up?
Oh man, Macho Man, Vandal Savage back in the building, taking you above full strength. Let's call it what it is. This was
Love
the
it.
boost, the shot in your arm. This was the venom like Bane. You know what you need.
Dude, love it. Hey, so before we get to Endgame, I gotta ask Jay. Like Jay, so just piggyback on Aquaman real quick, one more last time. What was the best part of the movie to you, and the absolute worst part of the movie to you?
It's kind of the same scene actually. Nicole Kidman had an amazing fight scene in the beginning. I love the camera work in particular. I like how it went all over the room. But then I had to sit there and go, but that's Nicole Kidman.
Right.
So there's that. And Nicole Kidman made a Jason Momoa, and it was like, how did that? I don't feel like the genetics work that way per se. Might be me, like I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, but I just don't feel like DNA from her would create a him. That's just my thought process there.
She did have one of the best fight scenes in the movie, though.
Yes, she did. That fight scene was cold. And again, I love the camera work in particular in that fight scene. Like the way that they gave us the top views and the side views. And,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Rotated around with her while she was throwing stuff. And that was crazy. Like that one, I was like, damn! For the first 10 minutes of it. And then there was that lull we spoke of.
I know, man. Like literally, I was lost. Like I was going,
No clue.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of times where I spent there going, I have no idea what's going on. And why
hey, dude,
from The Little Mermaid.
No, man, here I got upset, and I'm prone to be. I'm an angry black man. I can admit these things. What was the desert scene about?
Oh God, I have absolutely no idea.
Rooftop jumping in the desert, dude.
It was nothing but that was supposed to be them bonding.
Yeah.
That was what that was?
That's what I took from it.
Okay. It was good. It was good that they bonded, but they totally unbonded the moviegoer. That was just ridiculous to me. So
listen, give James Wan some credit.
Aquaman.
Give him some credit. That was his first crack at he made some mistakes. He probably could have trimmed about 15, 20 minutes off the movie.
Yeah, it was better than Justice League, so whatever,
Yeah, but I don't know that that's saying a bunch.
It's not.
Justice League was infuriating.
Yeah, and inferior.
100% infuriating and inferior. And the best scene in Justice League was Superman noticing the Flash while fighting everybody. That was the funniest thing in that movie.
Exactly.
It was noticing him, hey, that guy's moving pretty quick. I should throw this other dude at him.
And then Superman basically whips Steppenwolf's ass in 3 minutes.
Hey, that's a great scene though. At the end when he shows up, that's the best Superman incarnation.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
He's great right there.
Right, and then why Doomsday? Wasn't he around in that for no good reason? Didn't he show up? Or am I thinking of the other movie? I'm thinking of the other movie.
Jay, let me ask you while we're talking about Justice League. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, but I brought up some Zack Snyder news from one of his interviews where he said his original plans for Justice League was to have Doomsday boom tube into the Batcave, kill Lois Lane. And then Justice League 2 is going to be about Batman, The Flash, and Cyborg trying to go back in time and rewrite history. What do you think about that plan?
I mean, look, I think that at this point DC is legitimately reaching. I think that they are just trying to figure out what it is they can do in a live-action game to catch up to all things Marvel. With the Disney acquisition of all things Marvel, I expect so much more awesomeness to come from the Marvel universe. But I think that was for real. DC DC is they're reaching at this point. So that's why that was why I was looking forward to Shazam. It's because it's real difficult to reach with a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, I do think you'll be very happy with Shazam. It's a good movie. It is a little long, but it kind of breezes by a little bit. The first act is going to disappoint you. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. You're going to be a little disappointed in the first act, but after that, it's going to start picking up again.
But I'll also say I have my own personal beef with the movie too. But I'll say that later. But man, Disney, man, they're about to drop the mic with Endgame. You know?
Yeah, Endgame should be pretty ridiculous. Although I got to give you, the Captain Marvel made me laugh a bunch. Captain Marvel was strangely comical.
How do you? Yeah, what did you think about that movie? Because I think it was okay. I don't think it was as good as people say it was.
100% okay.
Yeah,
like it was more than it was like what is it? An MGK. If you can I give MGK an Infinity Gauntlet? Would that put me up to about an 8? Let me do that.
Hey, that's putting him in like an 8, dude.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it about an 8. Like just because overall it was. You had the strong female lead. She did her thing. The magical Negro black kid.
Yeah.
She was awesome. Young Sam trying to be too funny. I wasn't a fan necessarily.
I hated how he lost his eye.
A Firkin, like legitimately want a Firkin. I want one of those for the house. But other than that, Flurkin, is it Flurkin or Firkin? I couldn't remember what it was called.
I think it's a Flurkin.
I want one of them for the house.
Damn.
Like, those little things just seem like they're useful.
What about what'd you think about how Samuel lost his eye?
Hey, spoiler alert, dude. I still need to see the movie, man.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
So apparently Samuel Jackson loses his eye in Captain Marvel. Thank you, Regular Scott.
Dude, you didn't know that? He had come on.
He had both of his eyes in every trailer, so
yeah. Thank you, dude.
Hey Jay, West Coast Jay, don't bail him out. He knew that.
Wait, hold on.
Don't bail him out. He knew that.
Isn't bailing anybody out Green Arrow?
Oh, and by the way, West Coast Jay, I'm still holding strong to my Arrow. Your intervention didn't work. I'm still an Arrow fan. Going hard. We coming back season 8. What you think about that, West Coast Jay?
I mean, look, a broke clock is right twice a day.
Thank you, dude. Exactly, man. They ended it with season 8 too, right?
Oh, man.
I mean, if season 8 is supposed to be the 8th and final, so I went home. I went to the West Coast and was sitting there chilling with the homies, and one of them put on an episode from season 7.
Which episode?
And so I sat there and watched it. It was the flash forwardish episode where, spoiler alert, I don't know if we need music for this, but
I got you.
The kid is a grown up and
William
fighting people barefoot like a gangster.
William did not fight anybody barefoot.
No, I'm talking about the girl.
Oh yeah, Black Star. Okay.
Was fighting everybody like a gangster. Learned from freaking the Al Ghul lady.
Nisa.
Yeah, Nisa. Right. The one that calls him husband, which still just makes me laugh.
Yeah, I do enjoy that too.
That still just cracked. It doesn't matter if Felicity's in the room or not. Husband. That's just funny to me. But so I sat there and watched that whole episode and was going, okay, you guys are you're like a step behind the legends for not giving a shit anymore. You're just making stuff up now. Because at least, like I said, that's my favorite part about the legends is that at least the legends just turned directly into that. Just like, yep, we're going with it. We don't care no more. Let's just make shit up, see where this goes. All right.
Right. You said we're canceled? Cool. We'll cancel ourselves.
Well, look, they got one more season left. They got 10 episodes next season. Then it'll end at the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
Nice. Well, yeah, but that universe, the entire Arrowverse is just a fascinating amalgam of uselessness as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It is a great way to waste so much time. I was telling you guys before the show, I spent all day sort of with Black Lightning on in the background, just season 2, because it's just on Netflix now.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it on in the background, and that show's awful. But the soundtrack is amazing if you're actually paying attention to it. It's a lot like listening to like a cross between a Dead President's soundtrack and like a current hip hop soundtrack. This whichever one you want to give it. Like it's pretty interesting to listen to. Like every time
that's
I
awesome.
I'd wake up to something interesting. Like, is that the Ohio Players? And then go back to sleep and wake up like, oh, good, was that Travis Scott? And then go back to sleep and then wake up like, man, they slapping Parliament now. They going with it.
Yeah, see that they have said, damn it, you know what? If people are going to make model trains, model airplanes, do the laundry, take naps, we're going to make sure you have the appropriate music behind this kind of thing here. Because we know you're not watching us, so we're going to have the appropriate like big audio stuff because the visuals ain't working.
We know you're not watching.
The visuals, I mean, like my dude is for real dressed like the Earth, Wind, and Fire reject. Like he used to, like he didn't quite make Funkadelic.
Yeah, right.
So, like he just wasn't, like he was like they first bench member, like the dude that they called off the bench, like, well, Sir Nose ain't here. So let's get Black Lightning, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's just get Black Lightning. Why? He got lightning bolts on his chest. Let's do it.
Kiss and George Clinton were like, nah, dude, you can't be. Neither one of us want you, and so they
you can't hang out with us.
Yeah, you can't hang out with either one of us. So that's where he's stuck in that kind of limbo. So.
You know, but his outfit's awful. But the soundtrack is great. Tobias is a pretty decent villain. Reverend Pinky will always make me laugh. I don't even know what his actual name is. I just know him as Pinky.
Pinky. I used to be called Pookie, but now I'm Pinky. No, I'm going to spend tonight watching 2 episodes of Black Lightning since it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Like, so it is what it is. I wasn't even mad because Netflix is amazing to nap to if you find the right awful show.
Yes, and there are plenty.
And there are plenty. Like they've got their great shows. Love, Death, and Robots. What?
Dude.
100% with it. Thank you, Oz. 100% with that. That show was like every episode secretly amazing.
West Coast J, can we please speak upon that? Yes.
Man, like regular, you seen it yet?
I've seen one. I saw one.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the werewolf one.
Shapeshifters with me.
Yeah, the Shapeshifters. The Shapeshifters.
Shapeshifters was crazy.
Dude, I keep going back to that one. Crazy. It is so that shit is bonkers, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I love the way they changed. It was I'm trying to think of that horrible Netflix show that was about vampires. Damn it!
Was it Bitten or
No, it was.
Yeah.
Damn. It was.
I know what you're talking about too.
But I do know. But they had probably the best werewolf transformation I've ever seen.
Wow.
So I'm trying to think of which one and what the name of that show was, and it is escaping me right now.
It was like a couple seasons, right?
Yeah, it lasted like 2 seasons, and it was like the dude ended up like an angel. He looked like an angel a couple of times, and it was. But either way, whatever the name of it, it'll come to me at some point. But whatever the name of that show is, that had the best werewolf transformation I have ever seen. Like,
oh yeah, no, I used to watch a couple of those shows because they had.
Was it Hemlock Grove?
Yeah, Hemlock Grove. Yo, good job, Redler Scott. Hemlock
Grove.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Because it had, I remember it because it had the girl from X-Men. It had Jean Grey from X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I used to love that. Yeah.
And it was an awful show, just overall. But I think it was episode 3, like the last 6 minutes of that episode. If you don't ever watch the whole show, you don't have to. But if you want to see the coolest werewolf transformation ever, that one was right up there.
That's
But
awesome.
Shapeshifters in Love, Death, and Robots, they also did a wonderful job. Just the way everything about the detail with the elongation of the snout at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert, my fault. But it was crazy.
A dog's got a
Love, Death, and
hunt.
Robots was so sick.
That's an episode that I could easily see being adapted to a movie. Like you could prolong that reveal and everything towards like the end and have that could be a movie.
Yeah, it could easily be a movie. A
Very
couple of
easily.
those episodes could
Oh,
easily
absolutely.
be movies. A couple of them were exactly as long as they needed to be.
Yeah.
So that was also a pleasant surprise, is that they'll arbitrarily they sneak in like a 8-minute episode, and at the end of the 8 minutes, you're like, dude, that was actually satisfying.
Yeah, no, it was great,
That
man.
was
'Cause, like, and they started the first one set the tone and was really cool.
Yeah.
It was everything was appropriate. It was really cool to me.
Right, graphically, just the animation, the way they changed their animation styles. Like there was one of the episode. I'm trying to think. I can't remember which one it was exactly, but it reminded me of the way the Spider-Man movie was animated. The Miles Spider-Man movie was animated.
Was it the one about
one?
they're fighting the aliens?
Yes.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
in
yeah.
the farms. Yeah,
that one was awesome.
That
dude.
animation is so cold, and it was like that's another thing I've watched about 30 times in the last 2 weeks is the Spider-Man movie. That animation is so amazing. Like that was probably the best animated Marvel anything I've seen in a long time. Like long time.
Well, and here's the sad thing about it. You can call it sad or whatever. So we've always been saying forever, DC has the animated game on lock. Dude, you can't mess with them. DC's live game is horrible. Marvel just did Into the Spider-Verse. They've done some other animated, but they're one legit one, and they kind of knocked DC out the box with the animated game.
Dude, knock that one clean out the park. Like
they're untouchable, dude.
And that was just plain knock. That was a towering home run. Like it was gorgeous.
Disney said,
funny.
watch this.
Right. Like Disney was just like, fine, let's see what happens. You guys, man, you said animated? Sure. We used to do animation. I don't know if you heard about us. You know, over at Mouse.
I mean, The Incredibles, they arguably already still have the best animated superhero movie ever anyway.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 was outstanding.
See what I mean?
Wonderful job with that baby. That baby was so the baby fighting the raccoon is the best scene in that movie.
Just two classic movies. So let's do a little. Since we're talking about movies and potential movies coming out, have you guys both seen the Joker trailer?
No.
So I've seen his outfit, but I'm not a huge trailer guy.
Okay,
and I'll explain. I prefer the only time I will watch a movie trailer is if I am in the theater watching a movie.
Right.
Like I am a previews guy. I love the previews in the theater. But even when commercials come on, so I've been watching March Madness for weeks now, and every time the Endgame commercial or the Shazam commercial came on, I just leave the room.
Right.
Because if I know I'm going to go see the movie, I don't want the TV to spoil it for me when I can go see it on a gigantic IMAX screen.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen
it. I much prefer to see that, but I heard about it yesterday. A friend of mine actually brought it up. Good comic book nerd, actually. He cracks me up. The last time I ran into him, he was wearing a Captain America T-shirt, and I happened to have on Captain America socks, and so we've kind of been bonded ever since. So it was just like, hey, great T-shirt. Check these out. He was like, hey, great socks. So, and that led to an hour and a half of ignoring everybody else while discussing comic books.
The way it should be, by the way, but that's okay.
Right, as it should be. You know what it is. But so he brings it up yesterday. He was like, have you seen the trailer? I was like, trailer for what? It's like, Joker, you haven't seen it? I was, no. So I end up looking up the outfit. more so than anything else, I just wanted to see what his face and his suit looked like.
Right.
And his suit's weird. Like I don't have much faith in DC, but it's real difficult to mess up the Joker. Like, no matter what it is you're doing, it is difficult to mess him up. Like, even the Joker in Suicide Squad, everybody hated him. I'm not mad at him. He's still an iteration of the Joker.
Right.
Well, I think
the more I think about it, the more I realize that I think the Joker is my favorite comic book character.
Well, with the Joker, it's he's the thing about him that makes him intriguing, and to me at least interesting, is that there is no specific origin for him. Like, when you think about Batman, you know his parents got killed and he saw it. But when you think about the Joker, there are about 3 different origins that could easily be the real origin of the Joker. And I like that there's no definitive origin.
It's true.
I agree with that. And like I said, there's at least 3 different people. So in reality, who is he and where is he from never has to get answered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think this
knows that he's insane.
Go ahead, Oz.
Ray Luke Scott, what did you think of the trailer?
See, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a really good actor.
Okay.
Like, I think he's a legit, really good actor. I think he's going to sink his teeth into the role, and I think he's going to do a really good job in the movie. The problem I have with the movie is, I mean, this is set in what, like the 50s or 60s or something like that? Just basing it off the trailer or something. Or basing it off the trailer. And it just, like, I don't think every character needs an origin story. Like, I don't think the Joker needs a full origin story. Now, if you want to tell his origin story in flashbacks while, he's being chased by somebody or while he's present day robbing a bank, I think that's a cool little way to do it. But like I was saying, I like the mystery of it. Like, I don't want to know exactly what happens. I like having some of that left to my imagination. But I mean, on the trailer, it seems like it's going to be a little bit of the Dark Knight Rises and a little bit of the Killing Joke, where he's going to be a comedian and he's going to have not just one bad day, but he's going to have a few bad days and he's just going to descend into madness. One of the scenes from the trailer that kind of hit me was he's going down the stairway, and each time he goes down the stairs, they cut to a scene of him getting crazier and crazier, and he's getting lower and lower down the staircase, kind of like symbolizing him descending into madness. Mm-hmm. And I think that was really well done. Like, I think he's going to do a really good job with it, and he's got a creepy Joker laugh. He's a creepy dude to me anyway. So
yeah, in general.
In general. I mean, don't forget he had that whole Amish rapper phase he went through.
Oh, well, he had a lot of crazy
I prefer to forget that. I'll be honest.
And I can see why you would forget it. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, what are you doing, Joaquin? But people are talking about this could be an Oscar winner, and I'm like,
oh god.
2-3 months ago, people were
Joker.
Yeah, well, like the movie, like not like just the character, like like Heath Ledger winning an Oscar, but like the movie itself. And I'm like 2-3 months ago, reports were coming out that they were rewriting the script on set. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so let's not overhype this movie. So then when it comes out and it's just a good movie and not a great movie, everybody's not super disappointed. Like, let's not set the expectations super high for this, I guess is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but you already know with DC, the expectations are legit just set at MGK.
Right.
That's just
right.
Yeah.
Baseline.
Just out the gate, we don't expect them to do well with movies right now. We just don't. Every time we go to the theater, it's like, all right, I am going because I love comic books, not because I necessarily support you guys.
And you know what? I think that's a big part of why I liked Aquaman at the time so much. Because the standard wasn't as high. Like when a Marvel movie, the standard's pretty high, and I think that's why I didn't like Captain Marvel as much. Shazam, I think, is a really good movie. Huh?
Captain Marvel just touched $1 billion.
Yep, and I mean, I get it. It it's coming right before Infinity or Endgame and stuff. It has a lot of momentum, so
it does.
Yeah,
like I mean, the overall Marvel is still they're giving us a movie basically a quarter. Just sort of drop one here, drop one in February, drop one in April, drop one in like they're consistent with it. Whereas DC, their sporadicness, the stories that they're choosing to tell, the fact that Flash ran so Special Olympicsy.
Yeah.
God, that bothered me.
Hey, speaking about the Flash, he's apparently him and Grant Morrison are rewriting the script. There were rumors that he was out, and now apparently he's back in, and they're going to use the script that they rewrote. What do you guys think about the potential Flash movie, and do you even think we're going to get one, Oz?
So here's my thing. I have many things, obviously. So I will, just because of the love of the sci-fi and the love of comics, if there's a comic movie that comes out, I'm going to watch it, especially if it's like a origin story or a first time story. It's why I wanted to see Aquaman, because I only saw Aquaman pilot. It's why I went to go see Shazam. It's why I'll go see Joker, and why I saw the Suicide Squad. People are always like, look, if people are saying, just to pay back on the Joker, if people are saying this is Oscar worthy, then it's probably not going to be comic book nerd worthy, to tell you the truth.
That's fair.
That's
fair. Like,
the
nerdverse almost always destroys them.
Yeah, because that Oscar stuff is really to a select few, quote unquote, intellectual moviegoers. When they forget that the nerds we are the original intellectuals. But anyway, so that was my piece, and I did not answer your question at all, Regular Scott. Sorry.
Hey, what else is new? You never answered my question.
I know. I just had to get something off my chest, man. Go ahead, repeat your question one time.
So you want me to? You know what? How about we come back to you, West Coast Jay? Let me ask you the same question about the Flash.
I am going to. I'm very much like Oz in the sense that I'm going to go see it. Yep. I am a proud owner of some Flash Chuck Taylors as well. I kind of got overall the TV show frustrates me to no end, even though I wish they would use that Flash.
Especially this season with Nora.
Right, because he would make an awesome movie Flash, right?
He'd be a great movie Flash. Just like if they ever go with a Green Arrow, I hope they use Stephen Amell. They're not going to, but I hope they do.
Hey, but here's the thing, West Coast Jay. They cannot have Iris West from the show.
No, look, Iris is, first off,
here we go.
Get the obligatory, you're not the Flash, we are the Flash, out of the way.
Right.
Get that out. So I share your ire for Iris.
Thank you.
Because of that line. I understand it, but it doesn't make me loathe the line any less.
Right.
No, right. It's like you're a nagging superhero wife.
Oh, don't backtrack now, Oz. Don't backtrack now.
No. But
go ahead, Oz.
No. I'm not. It's not even backtracking, but that's exactly what it is, dude. I understand that. There's many a story that has Iris West being like the emotional support for the Flash. That's true, but I'm just that just always irks me, and maybe I take it too personal because it always reminds me of someone going, "You ain't allowed to fly because I can't fly."
Yeah, kind of. No flying in the house. Everybody can't fly, so no flying in the house.
Yeah, you can't. It's not fair to the other people who can't fly. Well, it is fair. So.
Okay.
Hey, and let me just for the Flash movie. To answer your question, Regular Scott, I will go see it. But who you have people who screen the movie before they release it. And that's before they release it to a test audience. Who saw that cat running and said, let it go?
Okay with it.
It's going to be cool. No one will see, no one will notice that. Dude, every time he kept running, I was like, I felt like someone had a supersonic Speed Force banana that he was going to trip over every single time he was running.
Every time. Agreed. Like, I thought he was going to get hit with, like, the Mario Kart bananas. Agreed.
Dude,
every time.
He looked like there was Speed Force ice, and he was trying to, like, keep his balance the whole time.
He was legitimately Scooby-Doo running. He was Scooby-Dooing. In the first, like, where you run real fast in one position and go nowhere, that's what he was doing.
It was so crazy to me because I was like, man, if the suit designers, look, the suit designers, I get it. You had restrictions, but you have multiple suits. You should have said, hey, this guy has to run. He has to look believable. That's what makes a DC movie suck, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the most believable thing in Aquaman, let's get back to Aquaman for just a moment, was the giant seahorses.
Oh, yeah.
They were kind of awesome looking.
Yeah, all that. The visuals for the city was cool, dude.
The trench.
The trench was gangster. Like, all of everything that happened in Atlantis looked good. It wasn't the one thing I will say about that though is I think again Marvel has spoiled us because the reveal of Wakanda when they were flying in and she said, "I love coming home."
Yeah.
And then Wakanda opened behind the dome. That was, man, that's second to none with regard to the way they entered. And I was expecting more from Atlantis itself.
Right.
Because that city is legendary in lots of different, not just comic culture. That city is legendary throughout the world.
I liked Atlantis. I thought it was illuminated really well, like with the colors and stuff.
But you got the, so here, I'll be a little bit of a devil's advocate, which is kind of slight on this. So, here's Jay.
That's my role.
I know, but I thought about this as Jay was saying it. So, Jay, it goes like this to me. You know why everybody got excited about seeing Wakanda? For one, it was beautifully done, absolutely beautifully done. And for two, man, black people were starving to have an awesome representation of Africa that was like futuristic, Afro-punk, and actually pretty accurate too. Not like, I'm not saying flying cars, but we ain't all spear chunking and that kind of craziness too. You know what I'm saying? So we saw a beautiful representation of a kingdom, a country in Africa. Atlantis, Jay, can we regular Scott, can we get Jay on more often, please, so we can get some, just the intellectual stuff around here, dude?
Well, if part-time keeps showing up once a month, then we might have to have him on.
Well, dude, can we listen to what Jay said? Hey, I'm sorry, Jay. I got to repeat what this cat said. Atlantis is internationally, universally, globally, galactically known. You have to represent that to everybody, dude. Atlantis is from the folklore, man.
Hey, there's a reason his name is Macho Man Vandal Savage.
Vandal.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, man.
Been around for some time, brother.
Been around for some time, man. You learn some things.
Dude, man. Yeah, it's so true. It's just so true. You have to do that. That has to be a big part of what you're doing. Because it's not just DC Atlantis, it's the Atlantis, man.
Like, it's Atlantis, man. Like, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Like, there's people that legitimately look for Atlantis from everywhere.
That's a really good point, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's a really good point.
It's truthful. It's just true.
It's not so, and it's not, again, regular Scott. It's not that they did a decent job. But like, I grew up in San Francisco, and coming around 280 and watching the city unfold looks better than it did in Atlantis.
No, that's a really good point. That's what you said and what I said. That's a really good point. It's a really good point.
But anyhow, the original question you asked me was about the Flash. Yes, I will go see the Flash. Begrudgingly.
You just pulled the eyes on me. You just pulled the eyes on us.
I did. You know, since everybody was talking, I know there was no showers involved right then.
Well, now, hey, shout out to Bees. Now I know what it feels like to take a shower now. Okay, this is good. I understand.
You know, you got to take a moment from time to time and just, you know what I'm saying, get that stank off you, you know? Just get it off you.
Hey, but y'all know Bees is like straight up lathering and everything when he's showering. Like one of them long, hot showers, dude, you know?
Singing songs and stuff. You know,
All right, let's
back and people are still making points and stuff.
let's shift gears to the Marvel verse a little bit. Let's talk Endgame and what's first off, let me ask both of you this: what are your predictions? And I'm gonna be specific. Shout out to Money for Money because last time we weren't specific when we gave our predictions.
Right.
Domestically. West Coast J and Oz, what do you guys think Avengers Endgame, after it crashed Fandango and AMC websites and stuff like that, what are you projecting it does opening weekend domestically?
Do we count Thursday? Like, are we counting the
No, just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Dude, there's a midnight showing on Thursday.
But they don't count that when they do the records or stuff like that. They just count the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I dig it.
Out the gate, 240.
Okay. The Avengers Infinity War made 257. If just for you to have something to go off of. So you say 240 West Coast.
Nope. Now I'm going to say 275.
Wow.
It's like this is the price is right around here.
275. What you got, Oz?
I was gonna go 3.
Wow.
That's
is that
fair.
what you think? You think 3?
I'm not mad at that.
Dude.
Yep.
Look, regular Scott, think about what you just said. The first Endgame.
Infinity
War.
The first
Infinity War. Infinity War, dude. That made 256.
257.
And it didn't crash shit.
Nope.
It didn't crash nothing.
Okay, hey, so look, let me ask you guys this, because I saw this on Twitter, and I thought it was a legit question and a good question. Is this movie or is Star Wars The Force Awakens? Because let's think back when that movie was coming out, how big of a deal that was for new fans, for old fans of Star Wars. And Oz, I know you're not a big Star Wars guy, but you know how big of a movie that was.
Oh, absolutely.
So let me ask you, what was the bigger movie as far as anticipation and stuff like that? Is it this one or is it that Star Wars movie, Force Awakens?
It's Endgame. It is Endgame because we watched people die. Spider-Man broke everybody's heart.
Hey, that's
so
true.
Now we all need to see him come back. We have to figure out how it happens. So that's just what it is. Like, Endgame, anticipation-wise, should be bigger than The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was only big because of the time in between the episodes that came out. Because I don't even remember the order it came out. Didn't it go
1, 2, 3.
5?
Yeah. No, it went 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, and so now we're at 7, 8, 9. Like, that's the time period between the Phantom Menace or whatever horrible taste was left in our mouth and the Force Awakens. That time period was significant. But like, I remember sitting in Infinity Wars with a non-comic book fan, and the first thing she said to me was, "What do you mean gone? Like, how do you mean? What do you mean Black Panther's gone?"
Yes.
I have a cup, and she literally had the Black Panther, like,
what do you mean
cup
gone?
you get from the movie theater.
No,
real serious too. What do you mean gone? Like, what? I have a cup.
I want to once again, just in honor of our guest, I want to piggyback off of what Jay said. Okay, and hey, go get your ice cream, go get your showers. This might be a long one. Just to buckle up. So it goes like this.
V's, if you out there, this is your moment.
Oh, man, Bees is like, dude, I had 5 showers already during this whole episode. So look, it goes like this. Hey, man, Star Wars is a phenomenon. Everybody knows what Star Wars is, dude. And everybody was so hungry to see The Force Awakening because they're like, whoa, this is a reboot. This is different. This is going to get people in. There's a black character who's not like drinking Colt 45.
Who's not a magical Negro that's going to turn on you.
Right. Well, yeah, dude, for real.
I mean, that's what Lando was.
No, well, dude, he's going to get a lightsaber in the back. But you know what? I want to show people and just remind people of what the cliffhanger is. The cliffhanger back in the day was they do a radio show or a movie, an old school movie, and they leave you hanging. That brought the audience back next week. They go see that show. You were going, oh my God, what's going on? Everybody was talking about it. This Avengers movie is nothing but the old-fashioned cliffhanger, and people have been affected by it, and people are hungry to see, because you know what? People love to see a resolution, you know? And so I'm telling you, dude, I said 3, and I say 3 unapologetically, dude.
You should.
All right.
3 is not. I don't think that's a stretch in any format like that. That 300 million mark, like they're going to get to $1 billion faster than everybody else.
Absolutely, dude. Captain Marvel was a test.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. This movie's gonna hit $2 billion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This movie will hit $2 billion. Like overall, like not domestically, but like overall.
But I'm going to call you out, Regular Scott, because you laughed at me when I said that Captain Marvel was going to make $1 billion. Dude.
I don't know if I laughed. I don't know if I laughed at you.
No, you did as a listener.
I didn't know. Hey, West, I did not laugh at that man about Captain Marvel making $1 billion.
Oh, okay. Well,
I might have did that.
Wait, sorry. Gleefully scorned me. Oh,
I might have did
what
that.
You want to say?
Mm-hmm.
I might have did that. You know? I might need to listen back.
You did have some harsh words.
Sarcastically mocked me? Is that better?
That's a great way to describe it. Yes.
I might. Hey, look. I will eat crow on that one. I'll eat crow on that one. Listen.
But again, Captain Marvel wasn't bad.
I've died on a few hills. Okay, I don't mind eating crow on a couple of those hills too.
You had some green arrows in your back too,
Beach for Arrow, right? You're still on the beach in Normandy for Arrow, right? I don't understand it.
Hey, West Coast Jay, he the only person on the beach too. Follow me, boys. Or like, nah, we ain't following you, dude.
You know what? To be honest, when I went home and the homie just put the show on, all I could think about was, damn it, I got to tell Regular Scott other people watch the show. Just damn it. Now I got to tell people. This is
hey,
awful.
look, 1 million people consistently watch that show.
This is true. Like I said, I'm going through my parents' DVR, and my dad's got the show. He's got all of the whole Arrowverse and Black Lightning. So I'm sitting there like, oh, well, I guess people do for real watch it.
Hey, look, Jay, your pops is listening. Your pops is only watching Black Lightning for the soundtrack, dude. That's the only reason he's doing it, dude.
I agree with that 100%. Just because I know the dude's soundtrack, I know exactly what he kept with regard to vinyl in the house, and a lot of these songs that are on the show, I know because of him. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Please, your pops is figuring out rocket science, everything else, because his mind is clear because he's listening to an easy soundtrack. He ain't got to look at no crazy visuals. He's just listening to some easy music, okay?
Yep, it's easy listening in the background, nice smooth R&B, a little bit of funk in there. Yep.
See, yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this about what in games. Because I have a second prediction I'm gonna go ahead and make right now. So I'm gonna say Endgame's gonna break the record. I agree with you all. I think it's gonna make 265.
What?
Okay.
Here's why.
No, that's fair.
Here's why. Here's why. Star Wars Episode 9 comes out this winter.
Yes.
I think that is going to make $275.
What?
Hey, you sleep on it, Oz, but Star Wars, man, is with Rey
a global phenomenon.
Yes, and it's so diverse right now.
I appreciate it too, but I'm telling you, people are going to start having some Star Wars fatigue.
Maybe,
dude.
but they're going to finish this. I think they're going to finish this trilogy out. Like this trilogy, I think is a little separate than like the Solos and the Rogue Ones. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Although I enjoyed Rogue One a lot.
I like Rogue One too. I did like Rogue One too.
Because they didn't feel like a Star Wars episode. That's why.
What's the best Darth Vader scene ever?
Yeah, there's one of them. Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely one of them.
But that's my predictions.
That's a fair prediction. I can't even argue with that. Because again, the Star Wars nerdverse is deep.
It's deep, dude.
It is, man.
Dude.
It is deep. Like, it is a long, drawn-out, you feel me? Like, I'm old enough to I saw Return of the Jedi in the theaters, so I understand.
Yeah.
It's something that, I had a friend that had, he actually had an X-Wing Boba Fett ship, Darth Vader's freaking TIE Fighter, and Millennium Falcon, that when you walked into his apartment, they were suspended from the ceiling as if they were chasing each other.
And that's me being jealous.
I was about to say, that's dope.
Yeah, it was fly. It was fly. But the Star Wars fan base is deep and old. They span so many ages because they did so well with their animated shows as well.
Yeah,
that's
Wars
key.
Is one of the sickest cartoons all time.
Absolutely.
Like Clone Wars, you got to learn about the Jedi way of thinking. You got to learn how to use the Force for good and evil. You got to learn how to whatever side you chose. Clone Wars did a really good job representing that.
And I think I think what you just said kind of is why I think that, because it's so diverse. Like they have so many different, ethnicities up front, as like lead characters. I mean, you don't think so?
They got a lot of aliens.
They have a black guy. They got a white girl.
Oh, dude, come on. Those are new. They're new.
But that's what I'm saying about this trilogy. That's what I'm saying about this current trilogy that we're in.
Okay. Yeah. I get
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they do. They got a black guy, white guy, a black guy, white girl, a Yeti.
Still got Chewie.
Yeah, a Yeti. That's what I said.
Oh, he called him a Yeti. He called him a Yeti.
Hey, West Coast JD saying he got a Yeti cup, dude. He said he got a Yeti, like Sasquatch.
Yeah, like an actual one.
He called him a Yeti.
One of them, like a Yeti. Anyway, but Laura Dern running the Rebel Empire is still a little strange to me.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that overall, just because I just don't. I can't imagine people who pilot starships taking her seriously. Like, something about that is weird to me. It's nothing against Laura Dern. I love Laura Dern. Nothing against her at all. It's just that it just doesn't seem like she didn't seem as militaristic.
Right.
Like
she battle hardened,
Right. Like, I would have taken a Robin Wright from Wonder Woman.
You wanted the girl from Jen from Rogue One.
Something like that.
Even a little bit older, but Robin Wright looks kind of like she's, or Charlize Theron. She looks like they look like they've been through some stuff.
Right. But the Robin Wright and Wonder Woman in particular, like she ought to have been like, yeah, okay, she runs the Empire, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just fine with it. Like, all right, I can deal with that. But Laura Dern, it's like, oh, but you look so wholesome.
But you look so wholesome.
I just can't. But that's just that thought. But yeah, I think that movie itself is probably going to shatter records because of the depth and diversity of its fan base. But I think that Endgame is about to murder things because of the, as Oz so eloquently phrased, cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to see how these characters come back.
Oh, and can we just say what the larger point of all this is, too? Regardless of what happens, the fucking CEO of Disney is going to be like taking he'll be eating ice cream and Oreo cookies made out of money. Oh my God, he'll be taking money baths, dude. Seriously.
This fool is going to be swimming through the money vault like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Just diving in every day, goggles on.
He's going to be telling people, dance for your bees, you know?
Straight up.
Dude.
It is going to be amazing. And then, again, because of the new acquisition, then in a couple of years, they get to bring back everything however they want. Like,
yeah.
I, too, am hungry for a Fantastic Four movie that's worth a damn.
Yeah. See?
I, too, am hungry to see what the the current Marvel Studios does with the X-Men.
Oh God! and
Like
then
that,
you can have a real crossover with X-Men, Fantastic Four, and the Avengers, and get it on.
And actually have a for real good old fashioned passionate brawl.
And then I will not be mad at anybody. You'll have your first $1 trillion movie. It'll be fine.
Right. Then we'll be okay with
This $1 trillion movie that you keep bringing up is not happening. Like, there is no possible way we will ever see a $1 trillion movie in our lifetime.
Okay, well, I want to say something to you, Regular Scott. I want you to hear me very loud, okay?
All right.
Some may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Okay. Not the only one. No.
I hope one day you'll find me, and the world will live as one. $1 trillion in the movie.
$1 trillion, baby.
It'll never happen.
$1 trillion.
I know.
No. You legit think this is a feasible thing that can happen?
Dude, seriously, when the United Federation of Planets has their first screening of a movie, we will have $1 trillion movie. Until then, we will have but we're getting close.
Hey, so look, I'm going to ask you again, just like I asked you last time you said this nonsense. What is the opening weekend of $1 trillion movie?
Oh, dude, man. They're going to have it at the new Super IMAX showing on Jupiter.
That's not what I asked. I said, what is the opening number going to be? Like, how much does that movie have to make opening weekend?
Oh, my God, dude.
How much?
It's not in our lifetime. It's not in our lifetime.
$12 billion. It has to have a $12 billion opening weekend.
It'd have to have more than that.
Well, it literally has to have like $100 billion opening, dude.
Well, you the one that said $1 trillion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I say a lot of crazy shit, but we'll in our lifetime, do you think we'll have a $3 billion movie?
Yes.
Thank you.
A $3 billion movie.
I'm saying within the next 20 to 30 years, dude.
Wow.
Lifetime. Come on, dude.
That's what kind of event would call for that?
Dude.
Star Wars ending.
Yeah, dude. Because let me tell you something. We had a $1 billionaire, so there is a $3 billion somewhere out there.
No, we've had a $2 billionaire.
Lots of $1 billion.
Yeah, we've had a couple $2 billions.
Ooh, well, see, then we're $3 billion's coming, dude.
Yeah, but you think it's coming in our lifetime?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Endgame can do it.
Because it's not like if like one movie every 2 months was hitting $1 billion, I might say it's but like $1 billion is still a rare feat.
Regular Scott, listen to me.
And
Captain Marvel hit $1 billion already, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not even a year old.
Yeah, but think about what Captain Marvel had, like the marketing when it came out.
No. But do you get the logistics of it all? It's not even a year old, and it still needs to circulate all around the world in its markets.
Yep.
Yeah, but I still don't. $3 billion is a lot. I mean, $3 billion's a lot.
Dude,
It
it is definitely a lot. It is a lot of money.
But it is also feasible. Like I said, Endgame or the end of Star Wars. Those two things could do it.
All I know is Ed
we
Norton's
could get
like,
$3 billion this year.
Wow.
Ed Norton's like, man, I should not have been such a fucking jerk.
No,
on
not
the set."
Ed Norton. You know who's saying that?
Who?
You know who's saying that? Terrence
shit.
Howard.
Oh, Terrence Howard is fucking going, God damn. And he's like, now I'm on Empire with this guy.
Yeah, right.
This clown.
Terrence Howard could be in the MCU. Probably would have starred in his own movie by now.
Dude, could have just raked in Comic-Con every year and been happy.
Terrence Howard would have had his own
Yeah.
movie by now. War
Yeah.
Machine would have had its own movie by now.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's
Oh,
like War
dude.
Machine and Falcon and
Something like that.
I agree.
Yep, something like that.
I agree. He would have, but he decided he needed to run an empire. So
Right.
whatever.
Whatever.
Hey,
dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not. I mean, it was hard out here for a pimp, so he had to get out when he did,
right.
and let Don Cheadle slide in real nonchalant in a very Don Cheadle-like fashion,
like the Cheeto does, dude. You know,
like a Cheadle does. Like Don Cheadle is probably my favorite on the low. Like, because he just sort of slides in, is like, wait, you guys are just gonna let me do this? Cool.
yeah.
All right, I'll do this.
Right. I'm set. He's set for the
All
rest
right,
of his
like,
life.
he gets to make up random shit to put on Showtime now. Like
Yeah.
that's what Don Cheadle does with his life. Just sitting there going, I wonder what else they'll let me put on.
Yeah, dude, please, man. Come on, yeah.
Like Don Cheadle is in rarefied air right now. He's gonna be the lead in the next Jordan Peele movie.
Is he?
I don't have a clue.
Oh, I thought you were serious about
No,
that.
no, wait, but check it. He's gonna get this mass exposure from this him
He
and
already
him,
has.
and Anthony. They're gonna get this mass exposure. Jordan Peele's gonna scoop him up in something, dude.
He's gonna. I mean, like Jordan Peele did. I heard you last week when you said that his comments were divisive. I also heard Oz last week when he said, but his comments were necessary and unapologetic. I am literally split exactly down the middle, specifically because the culture that we currently live in, the climate, as people like to refer to it lovingly, is to just plain be unapologetic about it.
Right.
You can thank your 45th president about that. Like,
Yep.
you can thank him for that. Because he has legitimately come out and just been a 13-year-old bully
The biggest
the
asshole.
whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what he's doing. So for Jordan Peele to say what he said unapologetically, that's the part I enjoy more than anything else. Like, do I necessarily but I also agree that it may hurt his pockets, but I don't think it's going to hurt his pockets enough for it to matter.
Right.
And you know,
I think it's going to be one of those drop in the hat type. And when I say drop in the hat, at this point, his movies make so much money that he's set forever anyway. So losing $1 million or $2 million when you've got a couple hundred, yeah, you're mad at it, but are you mad at it?
well,
And
well, the thing is, and what you're saying is you're right. Like, and I'm not saying like his statement is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I'm certainly not saying he's wrong for his or he's wrong for his stance on it. You know, it's just like, to me, it's almost like you don't need to, the same way that we say that about white directors, how they don't need to say it. Like, he don't need to say that. Like, it's prominent. It's very obvious in his movies. Like, he's going out of his way to cast black leads, and that's fine.
Yep.
Like, but you don't need. To me, he didn't need to say that. But I don't think he's wrong in his stance about it.
No, Like, as for divisive, I don't necessarily agree with that.
That might be a strong word. That might have been a strong word. I looking back at it, I'm not really one to take stuff back, but divisive may have been a bit of a strong word. And listening to the Defy Life guys talk about it as well, like that, it may have been a bit of a strong word to say divisive. I just think maybe I personally just didn't like it.
And we are all like, again, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Your own facts are not that. You know, you have to just go with what history said, man. And I go back to it. Hey, let's get down and dirty for a second. Jordan Peele, people were like, oh, his pocket's getting hurt. That dude was making money from Mad TV. He was an actor in other things before.
He's got his own CBS Plus series right now.
Yeah, and that's not hurting me either. Let me speak for like one more hour, and I'll let y'all have your turn as usual. It goes like this, dude. Hollywood sees green. The executive producers who made his movie are going, I don't give a fuck what he says as long as he keeps making money for us.
He keeps making money.
Because if you don't think that's true, Mel Gibson still has a career. Okay, and what Jordan Peele said, it was nothing compared to what Mel Gibson said or anything. So this cat again is a drop in the bucket, and he just said, "Hey, I'm a black director. Can I put some people of color so that they can have a little more shine?" Because, and I'll say it again, and this is not a mean, evil thing. But someone, please tell me the white man story that you have not heard already. There is, you've heard it all. What about the black woman who's handicapped, who's a superhero? What about the black man who's from the suburbs, who's a superhero? I don't get them stories, dude.
What white woman do you know is handicapped that's a superhero?
Dude, oh man.
Well, you the one that brought the example up. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
There is fake. There is fake oracles and what.
She's not in the movies.
Son,
you said the movies.
Oh, but come on. Okay,
no, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. You brought that specific example up.
Okay, here. From mainstream culture instead of movies, dude. Okay. That's silly. No, you're just splitting hairs.
No, but that's what Jordan Peele is talking about. He's not talking about comics. He's talking about horror, the horror genre of movies. Like he's specifically talking about that.
Well then here for horror genre of movies, have you not seen every type of white dude from the scared cat to the hero to the villain? In horror movies, the black dude is the first dude that dies still.
Except Anaconda.
Yeah, and Deep Blue and Anaconda. And Deep Blue, they split the difference and kill Samuel Jackson in the first 15 minutes.
But that was a cool twist, though. Like, I don't have a problem with that because it was very unexpected. I don't have a problem with that one.
Yeah,
I just want to throw that out there. Like, I don't have a problem with them. If you kill off a big name first, like, that's cool to me. Regardless of what color he is.
I was just watching Triple Frontier or whatever, and I was like, okay.
How is that?
How is that?
Man, it was all right. I skipped through a lot of stuff. I was just like, let me hear. Oh, you were giving me a little bit of action, but give me a lot of like dialogue. I don't want that from you guys. You know.
So it's like Bird Box.
It was a bit like Bird Box. I was pleasantly surprised when one of the leads died. Speaking of which, so that made me kind of happy.
Spoiler alert! You can go ahead and tell me unless West Coast Jay cares.
I mean, yes and no, I guess.
No, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me.
I won't.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me.
It's all good.
Like at some point, I am gonna watch it, but
no, you should because like I was flipping through Netflix, dude. Yo, man, I binged Ultraman. The reboot of Ultraman they got on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it though.
It's got some really good fight scenes in it. It's got that young Iron Man animation to it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. And so I've been binging that, dude.
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy was dope, dude. I'm a comic book fan of that too.
I'm only 3 episodes in.
What are you thinking?
You
I think it's very outside of the box, and I'm enjoying every minute of it so far.
Are you watching Doom Patrol still?
enjoying it?
I've seen them. Yeah, Doom Patrol is still good. I need to get back on that. I'm still only on the first couple episodes.
I think I'm gonna try and do that tonight too.
But I think I'm gonna try to finish Umbrella Academy. I do like Umbrella Academy. I like the boy that's number 5. He's great.
I do have one beef with that movie. I have one beef with it though.
What's that?
You want me to tell you what it is?
Unless it's a spoiler alert.
It's not a spoiler alert. It's just it's a character flaw.
Well, please, I'm all ears.
What the fuck is Ellen Page doing?
Being Ellen Page? Like, that's her. Like, what do you expect?
Exactly
What'd you say?
Well, hey, regular Scott, can I help you with that? I'm not trying to get you upset or be disrespectful. I'll tell you what I expect. I expect her to act and not be Ellen Page.
West Coast Jay, what are your thoughts on Ellen Page?
She's Ellen Page, man. That's exactly what she does and everything that she's in.
Fuck, dude.
She is typecast as Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like when you brought up Terrence Howard. Like, Terrence Howard is Terrence Howard in movies featuring Terrence Howard.
Right.
Dude, I mean, seriously, like the script, everybody was killing it in the script, you know, when they're reading and rehearsing. And then Ellen Page is like, wait, you want me to read for this, but you have me, it says Ellen Page as the character. You know?
Right.
Oh
Character type. Be like Ellen Page.
Yeah, I'm literally going, so are you Ellen Page, the actress Ellen Page,
well,
the lesbian?
See, what
Ellen
had happened
Page?
was they had a bunch of actresses, you know, read for the role, and they just couldn't find anyone who could pull off Ellen Page, so they just went out and got Ellen Page.
I'm looking for someone who's like Ellen Page, you know?
Yeah. Kristen Stewart wasn't available.
God, dude.
Yeah, she's filming Batgirl with Robert Pattinson as Batman, so they can have sex.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, actually.
Man, times like this, I really wish I had a werewolf just to go ahead and take them both out.
Oh, man.
You know?
Well, yeah, Ellen Page is Ellen Page.
Yeah,
as
dude.
Ellen Page.
Oh, God.
Hey, you're so right, man. But it's not really a flaw, because I'm almost like, you know, when you see her, you're like, okay, I know what to expect. I know what I'm getting.
You're getting Ellen Page.
Yeah,
you're getting Ellen Page.
You're getting Ellen Page. Like, you know what you're getting. Like, you know, I'm not disappointed because I knew what I was getting.
I was like,
right, we're not in this for depth.
Right.
We're not in this for character development. We want Ellen Page to be Ellen Page as Ellen Page in a movie featuring Ellen Page.
Yeah, Ellen Page had an Illuminati meeting and was like, "Hey, you guys know I love the Umbrella Academy comic book. You're in the movie. Don't worry. We'll make it happen. It's fine."
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's so terrible.
You're so right, because now I'm thinking about X3, and even as Kitty Pryde, she's
Ellen Page.
She's Ellen Page.
She's either Ellen Page with the violin, Ellen Page phasing through walls. You know, she's Ellen Page.
Wasn't she in that superhero movie with Dwight from The Office?
Super, and she was Ellen Page.
She was Ellen Page in that too.
She was Ellen Page with a mask.
Yeah. As Kitty Pryde, she was Ellen Page that walked through walls.
She was Ellen Pryde. Literally Ellen Pryde.
Shout out to Ellen Page, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
shout out.
She's got a job. She's working.
Hey, she's working though, consistently.
Well, she's working, so I'm not in any way upset at her. She does exactly what we expect from her.
Hey, look, Oz is upset at her.
No, I'm not. I'm waiting for her next movie, which is going to be called Jane Wick. So it's gonna be fine, dude. Yeah.
Who's the better actress, Ellen Page or Kristen Stewart?
Ellen Page. Unapologetically, Ellen Page. Kristen Stewart is awful.
You never saw this movie because it went straight to video, but it was this movie that Kristen Stewart was in, where she played Ellen Page.
Hilarious.
And then they had a prequel. But the prequel was actually Ellen Page playing Kristen Stewart. It was really terrible. Both of them were. So,
Hey, so as an actress, I'm gonna start with you, West Coast Jay. Then Oz, I'm gonna get your opinion as well. What rating are you giving Ellen Page?
She gets Amira's hair without question.
fuck yeah, dude. On a motorcycle, West Coast J, on a motorcycle too, with a guardian helmet, shield, and boots.
God
Shit is
dang.
burning leg.
And Mr. Terrific's cornrows.
Ooh, West Coast Jay, you might have just added something to the rankings.
Yeah, because it's like Ellen Page is Mr. Terrific, and it's like we have a battle scene, and then she goes and changes, and she turns into Kristen Stewart. You know, it's really weird.
It's a twist. It's a twist, like old school M. Night Shyamalan style. That's nice.
Oz, what are you giving her?
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, dude. Man,
West Coast Jay said Mara's hair.
In Mr. Terrific's cornrows.
I'm gonna say something that's not very PC, and I apologize for all the listeners. I'm gonna have to give her an Infinity Gauntlet so she can get punched in the face with it.
Oh,
God dang, Oz. Like, that's not nice.
I know, that was me. So
Like, that's not nice, dude.
Let me rephrase that. I wish Ellen Page had Mira's hair.
What?
In Umbrella Academy, so that she could ride on the Guardian's motorcycle. And she's gonna be the new Green Arrow.
You still have not given her a ranking. Why won't you answer any of my questions?
Okay. She is for sure a Jar Jar Binks from Mira's hair on a motorcycle.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
With these cornrows.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
With the cornrows.
She is the Guardian with Mira's hair with Mr. Terrific cornrows.
That's fair.
That's legit. That's it.
That's fair. That's 100%.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, Kristen Stewart sucks as an actress, though.
Kristen Stewart is Jar Jar Binks with Mr. Terrific's cornrows.
Yeah, because dude, the Huntsman, holy shit, what a turd! Oh my god!
Like, she is abysmal. Like, she makes me go find words to describe her awfulness.
Wow.
She is what is it, the putrescence that comes from her acting. The absolute putrescence. The rubbish, filth.
Yeah. Dude.
Awful.
She, I seriously, when she was doing all the Twilight trilogies, I literally wanted to go, hey, sweetheart, wake up. It's time for you to act. It's time for you to act. Your scene's up, you know? Yeah, man, it's like someone gave her a bunch of gave her a whole bunch of NyQuil and Sleepquil and Ambien and said, now act.
Now get out there and show me something. Right.
Now get out there, kid.
Get out there.
Break a leg, kid.
Show me something, son.
I didn't know y'all had this much disdain for her.
It's not disdain. It's just
I do.
I feel like she has that much disdain for me when she acts. I feel like she's personally attacking me when she acts.
It does feel very attackish.
Yeah.
A lot of body blows.
Seriously, I feel like she is setting me up for the DDT every time she tries to act.
She's setting me up for the DDT.
Am I wrong?
No, you are absolutely not wrong. She is fully prepared to people's elbow us every single time she is on screen.
She dropping a Macho Man elbow from the top rope.
She is dropping the Macho Man Vandal Savage elbow and switching it in the air to the good old-fashioned Hulk Hogan leg drop. Like, it's awful.
Yeah, can you smell what the Kristen Stewart is cooking? It smells like shit.
Smells pretty putrid.
I didn't know, man. I didn't know there was this much hate for this woman. I didn't know. Wow.
Somebody loves her. She keeps getting work.
She getting work, dude.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well,
I mean, Twilight.
No,
that's what I'm
regular
saying.
Scott.
She made Twilight.
Regular Scott. Now, Are you serious? Are the rumors true that she's playing Nap Woman? Because I can believe it.
Did you say Nap Woman?
Nap Woman, the role of a lifetime.
That's perfect.
The rumors have not been confirmed yet, but I'm still waiting on confirmation for those. I don't want to spread any rumors that might not be true. You know.
Bad Man and Nap Woman.
Yep. That sounds like that was a role that was designed for her. They wrote it with her in mind.
Oh man.
I'm just really surprised at that, man. That really caught me off guard.
Now I'm gonna need.
No, not that. But how much like people genuinely hate her.
Dude, seriously.
I don't know if it's people or if it's just us. Like,
and
true
also,
that.
Back on Ellen Page, dude. When Ellen Page when I first saw her, the moment I saw her in the Umbrella Academy, I was like, oh, look at little Juno. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so
it is Juno.
She's been the same character in everything.
Yeah, I was like, I understand about the teen pregnancy, but you don't have to be a terrible actress because of that. You know. Life goes on, honey.
All right, let's get away from Ellen Page for a little bit. let's get away from Ellen Page if it's okay.
Hey,
this was your choice.
Yeah, regular Scott, plug the show, dude.
Oh right, yeah. So look, you can when you're not watching Ellen Page act, you can find us on Twitter at knee4Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. Email us any questions you got at knee4Marvel vs. DC at gmail.com. We are on Twitter, Facebook. West Coast Jay, you got anything you want to plug?
Plug wise, nah.
Okay.
Pay attention to Need for Marvel vs. DC. Keep paying attention to the rest of the Defy Life Network. Everybody is doing wonderful, wonderful big things. Oh, watch Young Justice. There's an episode involving Vandal Savage that's amazing.
Oh, is that good, dude?
I love that episode.
Oh, dude.
I loved that episode very, very much, Leo. And as I was watching it, all I could think of was, I chose the right name.
And West Coast Jay, about that episode, it did piss me off because I hate when I start feeling for the villains, dude. You know,
I don't. I absolutely love them.
Because I'm like, yo, man, I'm like, hey, Justice League, y'all been getting your asses kicked for the last 3 seasons of Young Justice, and then that episode I was like, damn.
But it kind of explained why they've been getting their asses kicked.
Oh yeah.
Like, so dudes are for real savage. Got it.
Oh, this dude is like, hold on. I'm sorry if you misunderstood. I have been alive for over 10,000 years.
Yeah.
For 50,000 years. You know, come on, man. Yeah.
Dude. Right. When they're telling stories and saying, well, back then he was known as.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that explains a bunch.
I'm looking forward to that coming back.
This guy's a G.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I still haven't seen
intense.
Doom Patrol. Do you know what I'm looking forward to more than anything else now that I'm thinking about it?
Titans.
Freaking Cloak and Dagger.
Ooh.
Cloak and Dagger was one of my secret favorite comic books. Like, growing up, my dad kept comics in the nightstand.
Yep.
Cloak and Dagger was one of my favorite reads. Like,
Dude,
I've always liked
West Coast, right there with you,
behind
son.
I've always liked the concept of it, and I like what they did with the show to give us a nice little origin. For those of you that have never seen it, you should probably take a moment and catch Cloak and Dagger.
Freeform.
Pretty damn cool. On Freeform. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the interracials, so.
Yeah, well, aren't we all? So.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, big fan of the interracials.
Man.
I'm all about it. So,
but yeah, no, their power is everything. That show's cool.
So we're about an hour and a half in. I only got a couple more things I want to hit on. I want to make sure we touch on. West Coast Jay, what are your thoughts on Game of Thrones?
The most amazingness. The who will sit on the Iron Throne, I think was you guys' question.
Yeah. What you got for that?
The V's Dark Horse of Tyrion Lannister sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. Dany dying sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Jon
me.
Snow dying sounds good.
That's me.
Sansa Stark ending up on the Iron Throne is probably my guess, and here's
I see.
why. Arya Stark is going through her list, and she's going to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe the Hound. I think the Hound's going to get a cute little pass. I think
Right.
he's going to still be alive.
Or she'll say that he's dead to her or something weird.
Well,
something
speaking on
ridiculous.
that, I think she already kind of took him off the list when she left him to die.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think he just gets his own little pass. Just because he did, to be honest, he has rescued her on numerous occasions, and I think even she doesn't forget that.
Right.
So by the end of it, I think he gets to get removed from said list. Which is, on a completely related side note. So apparently Mountain Dew has a secret can that when it is ice cold, it reveals the names on Arya's list.
Oh,
when
whoa.
it's warm, it's blank.
Wow.
I want to find that can somewhere. Apparently it exists.
But Jamie's on the list, right?
I don't think
Who
Jamie
was
is.
it?
It's Cersei.
No, Cersei's definitely on the list.
I don't think it's Jamie,
Who
though.
was it? Elin Payne, the Hound.
Mm-hmm.
She killed 2 or 3 of them other dudes. Cersei,
Walter Frey.
Walter,
he's already
killed
dead.
him already.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got him. And she got him like a complete total gangster. She was such a G about that.
So let me ask you this about her list. Isn't the Mountain on her list? Do you think she's going to be the one to kill the Mountain, or do you think it's going to be the Hound?
No, he's already dead. I think the
Right.
Hound is the Hound is gonna have to be the one that does it. Because once the Sand dude couldn't do it, then it was it was there. From that point forward, it was the only one that could probably kill him is going to have to be his brother.
Right.
Like that's just how that works. Real quick shout out to the Mountain for being an actual legitimate real life strongman. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But so I believe that Sansa Stark is going to end up with the Iron Throne, specifically because Arya Stark is such a gangster.
So will she have a husband?
Sansa?
Yep. Since you're picking her,
isn't she still married to Tyrion?
is she?
Oh, that's funny.
Well, is she? Because she
isn't she
married
still
Ramsay too.
But isn't she still technically married to Tyrion? Like, was that marriage ever dissolved or anything along those lines? Like, can't she walk in the room like Lisa and just call him husband?
Husband.
Does anyone recognize that marriage though?
No. But does anybody recognize anything that she's done thus far? No. Sansa has been the coldest. She has probably gotten the coldest run out of all of the characters. For the one that's left alive, she's had to go through the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
like hers. Like Arya made a choice to go through hers. Sansa just sort of gets put places.
Well, they put the revenge on her too because all she ever wanted was to be a princess and have that life, and then they were like, "Here's this life, and it's a shitty life," and she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and then she also got to study under the tutelage of one of the greatest bad bitches ever.
Mm-hmm.
Cersei Lannister is on the list as a cold-hearted bitch. That motherfucker there. I'm trying to tell you.
If Sansa ends up on the Iron Throne, I think she's going to marry, or I think who her king will be, is going to be the guy, who's the blacksmith? That's the bastard.
Oh, that dude, yeah.
That actually makes sense.
I think he would end up, I think they would end up getting together and he would be like her king, kind of. But she would still be in charge. She would run stuff, but he would be who she bears children with.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. He does have Baratheon blood in him.
Yeah, just
So
off
that
of your prediction with Sansa.
Yeah, but that's just, and again, this because it's a prediction. Since they've gone so far, like I read all the books, before I actually watched the show. Because when the show first came out, I saw the first episode, and a friend of mine at the time was like, "But have you read the books?" And he gave me the first book, and so I read through it. Then I ended up reading through, just devouring the other books as they came out, and it was like, "Oh wow, this is some serious." But when they went, the show has gone so far off book now that it doesn't even, like, bold predictions are just bold predictions. Like, at this point, we're just making stuff up.
Now, I will say this: the creators of the TV show have spoken with the writer of the book, and they've kind of talked about the endings for each. So I guess the show and the book, I don't know if it's going to be the same. I don't know if they meant it's going to be the same, but each one knows what each ending is going to be. So I don't know if that will play a part or not.
That's funny.
That is kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
They consulted with him the whole time.
Yeah, and I think
that's like I said, the first few seasons were almost verbatim the dialogues from the book. Like, they were crazy. There were a couple of scenes where I was able to actually say the dialogue with them because I had just read it. Like, it was crazy. They did a wonderful job with the first few seasons in particular. And then when they started getting off book, I wasn't necessarily mad at them because I kind of liked where they were going.
What's
all
your
right, I see where you are with this.
What's your favorite season so far?
Whichever one ended in the Red Wedding. That was the coldest. That was one of the coldest
season
things
3
I've ever read and
evil.
I think that's season 3.
Like, it was cold, but it was, like I said, it was so true to the book. It was cold in the book. It was cold on the show. It was just like, wow, that is, when you see that acted out like that, it's like, wow, again.
Oz, what about you?
They did them dirty.
I love the Red Wedding. That episode, the Battle of the Bastards, was awesome.
That's a great episode too.
I like when I kind of like when Jamie first has the taste of the dragon.
That's the last season.
Yeah. Well, episode wise, I like that episode. There's a lot of little like gems in there. So I look forward to the final season. I look forward to Westworld too. So, I look forward to the Watchmen on HBO.
Yeah, that's an awesome show as well.
Yeah, so I'm just like, here we go.
What about Gotham coming out with in a couple weeks? I don't know why they took a month off, but they're taking in a couple weeks when it comes back on. We're gonna get Batman. What are y'all's thoughts on? Let's wrap up with this. What are y'all's thoughts on Batman, the Joker that we're gonna get, and this 10-year time jump that's coming?
I know, dude. What is up with that?
I guess so they can. I mean, go ahead, Jay.
I think they just they're fatigued.
Blew their wad.
Get fatigued, and so they had a great premise with the first season. I loved what they did with Edward Nygma. Loved it, like his character, his development, all the et cetera. I loved how they gave us this might be where the Riddler came from. Like, that was pretty damn cool to me. The young romance with Bruce and Selena is adorable. Mm-hmm. And if they're just going to jump 10 years, then that's pretty much what it sounds like it boiled itself down to. The writers got fatigued and were just like, oh my God, how do we keep not putting Batman in Gotham?
This is our last season.
That's all we got. Let's see if we can go out with the big shebang. Let's give them everybody.
Well, we're going to get Batman.
So, yeah, like, we definitely get Batman. So if that's what's going to happen, then that's what it's boiled itself down to, is that the writers are now tired of trying to make shit up.
Mm-hmm. I have no more stories to tell. It's the same. It's just, you can tell it's just people getting tired, and they're just like, all right, cool. Well, so let's see what's up. And then what do we got to taste of Batwoman, right?
Well, we'll get her. She'll get her series next year after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, because I think Arrow's going to end before that, leading into that. So I think Batwoman will take Arrow's place as far as like the grittier, down the earth show.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I see that crossover going.
Ruby should be fun. I'm still stuck with the concept that when we first started talking about anything, is what would happen if Sansa Stark met Bruce Wayne. I still think that's the funniest thing ever. That concept will always be stuck in my head because that's just funny. It's like, oh, so your parents were killed, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, right.
They
hold my beer.
Right? Did they stick his head on a spike and make you look at it every day? They do that? They didn't.
They kill your
Right.
dog. Huh? They kill your dog.
Right.
But let me get this straight.
Dog either, huh?
You're still a billionaire, right? Okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, I got you.
Right. You've been at home the whole time?
Right.
A butler?
You have a butler? You weren't married against your will? What?
Mm-hmm. How many times have you even been married?
Yeah, right. Right.
Well, I don't know. Bruce got a couple marriages under his belt, right?
Has anybody seen my sister? Like, that would be the greatest. That conversation, just to see them walk into a party. What's your name? Sansa. What's your name? Oh, I'm Bruce. Bruce Wayne. Oh, that's cool. Hey, I heard about you. You're the one that lost his parents, right? Yeah, it was tragic. Why are you doing that with your voice, man?
Yeah, right. So you went to Lois and Clark's wedding. My family had a red wedding, but it's okay. I don't want to talk about it. It's okay.
Wedding. My brother got married once.
Just once.
He got married once. They put his dog's head on his body.
We had a wedding once.
Yeah, they put his dog's head on his body. You haven't had that happen? You have a Joker though, huh? Cool.
Right.
Oh
God.
That's neat. That's neat. Oh, goodness gracious, you guys are hilarious. Keep up the good work.
Hey, man, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on another open mic with us. It's always a pleasure having you. So let's go ahead and get into our...
Jay,
go ahead, Oz.
Jay, just so insightful, dude. It's always good having you on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I truly do. Like I said, I love listening to you guys. You guys make me laugh pretty consistently. As I don't shower while you're talking, so I'm not going to talk to you like that.
Hey, and you're on more than Mark. You're on more than Bees is anyway, so it's okay.
Crucial. Bees, we miss you. We do.
We do.
But I hope you're doing well in your golf tournament.
At 10 o'clock or 11:30 at night.
Hey, night golf is a thing, right? It's a thing. It's not. What that?
Man, he's doing some golfing on the Switch.
Oh, let me leave Bees alone, man. You know that dude gonna come back mad and stuff.
Yeah. You know the wrath of hell.
Yeah, man. Let me leave that dude alone before I get a personal intervention at work.
Oh, right.
All right, let's get into our final blows. Jay, I'll start with you since you're our guest. What you got for the final blow?
Appreciate that. Final blow is, again, Cloak and Dagger will be out in a minute. Like you guys, I'd recommend you check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy the first season a bunch. Young Justice, to give you a nice classic Oz final blow. If you haven't gone with Young Justice, you need to get with Young Justice. When you get to the Savage episode,
he been fiending to say that, Jay. He been fiending to talk about Young Justice in his final blow.
Man, but when you get to the Vandal Savage episode, listeners, you will understand why I chose that name.
You'll be rewarded.
Like, the dude makes you cheer for a villain a couple times. He's pretty gangster. Yeah, but other than that, like, you guys continue to do what you're doing. This is awesome. I enjoy it thoroughly. Defy Life and all the et ceteras.
Yeah,
no doubt. Oz, what you got for the final blow?
Final blow. Jay said it, so you need to go watch the Young Justice. Love Robots and Death is just
Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, it's just good, brilliant stuff, man. I'm gonna watch a couple of Black Lightning episodes. If you guys get a chance, watch that. I did binge Ultraman. It's worth a look. on Netflix. Just saying. And that's all I got.
Definitely shout out to you, West Coast Jay. We appreciate you being on again. It's all you always bring the knowledge, the insight.
Yeah, yes.
You always bring good points. Even the comic connoisseur, you even stump him sometimes. So,
oh yeah,
definitely shout out to you. Appreciate you being on. Check out Coach the Stanley and English show. They have 49ers wide receiver Smallwood on. Definitely check that out. Really cool interview that just came out. And just guys, there's a lot going on right now with Defy Life. So, if you're not a part of the, repping with the network, following the show, Defy Life show, Len and Kim, all that, you better hop on the bandwagon. We got Defy Life gear. Definitely check out our shirts, all that good stuff. But, as far as a final blow, now I'm pulling the Oz too. I just spewed a whole bunch of nonsense, and now I'm about to get back to my final blow.
Dang.
Yeah. I'm in the shower. I'm good.
I'm eating ice cream, so
I earned that. All right. My final blow is this. Umbrella Academy is very strong. Definitely check that out. UVA, I'm pulling for you in the Final Four. Don't let me down. This is recorded before that comes out, so please don't let me down, UVA.
Let's go Michigan State.
Oh, there's West Coast Jay's pick. I was just about to ask you who you had for the Final Four. Okay, Michigan State. I'm going with UVA.
Let's go with Coach Izzo.
Hey, West Coast
UVA
Jay.
was supposed to win last year.
West Coast Jay, watch this though. Hey, Oz, who you got in the Final Four?
I think it's either going to be war, famine, pestilence, or death. I'm not sure which one, though.
Pestilence is strong this year, man. Pestilence is strong this year. Like, they look good. The defense, the way they set up that zone is crazy.
Oh, man. I knew Oz was going to be lost once I mentioned Final Four in basketball.
No, hey, regular Scott, there's nothing but silence.
I know.
I
know.
All right. Let's go Pestilence. I'm with you. Let's go Plague. Let's do it. Okay.
Y'all stay tuned after the show. There's going to be a Defy Life commercial for the Defy Life podcast. Again, West Coast Jay, thank you for being on. Oz, tell everyone we'll talk to them next time.
As usual, give people peace and chicken grease.
And y'all have a good time because we're going to have a good time till we talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Yo, what up, my people? This is J.R. Glent from Defy Life. If you're looking for an in-depth, honest, at times hilarious conversation on anything from current events to sports to entertainment and more, check out myself, Alvin, Thomas, Gerald, and Yosh on the Defy Life podcast. Dropping every Wednesday, available at GoDefyLife.com and everywhere your favorite podcasts are available. And as always, if you're not rocking with Defy Life, what's your life about?
Got to pay the price. We make winning look easy. Welcome to Defy Life.